harbor is almost free of ice. Not long before we can take Aventura back on water. But before that, I need to fix some rock rash on our keel. I have faired the bottom of the keel so that I could probably paint it with Temacoat epoxy paint. The front side of the keel doesn't look that good that I could laminate it with epoxy and rowing mat. There is a moisture in front of the keel. I drilled a couple of holes there to get the water out. I have a encapsulated keel, so I think a couple of holes more wouldn't hurt, but I don't know exactly what to do. I was planning on using epoxy resin first time of my life to lay down a couple of pieces of fiberglass in front of the keel, but it doesn't look good for that. There is some moisture in here, but maybe I'll let it dry for a bit now and sand down the area better. Today is Thursday and there is 9 days. There is 9 days for splash, so there is time to do something that the epoxy paint can cure. At one day I filled the bottom of the keel with epoxy filler. Now I can sand it and then it's ready for paint. Yes, the bottom of the keel looks nice. There is still some moisture. Some small and cozy tent. Plan is for today to fill the holes that I have drilled on Monday and put a layer of epoxy resin in front of the keel so it seals up the fiberglass and maybe some mat if it looks promising. But tomorrow or at the Saturday I can do some painting, and then the epoxy paint has week to cure before splash. So first attempt with the fiberglass and epoxy resin layered. Let's see how that hardens. couple of layers of fiberglass and epoxy resin so that it would seal the keel and the epoxy paint would dry better. Let's see if this is a wrong way or the right way to do it. As you can see, harbor is looking better and better every day. Soon we can drive Aventura its place. Okay, Thursday is done. Managed to put epoxy resin and fiberglass cloth in front of the keel and paint the bottom of the keel with epoxy paint. Tikkurilas Temaquad. Yes, Temaquad RM40. Maybe this could be done. Let's see how the epoxy paint and epoxy resin cures overnight. Tomorrow should be good day, above 10 Celsius all day, so good temperatures to resin and paint to cure. But we'll see that tomorrow. So here we are at the harbor again, checking out how's the Aventura. It's Thursday and it's the first summer day, 17-18 Celsius, and yesterday's epoxy resin and epoxy paint has cured well, so it's time to add another layer of epoxy paint, and on top of epoxy resin and fiberglass epoxy paint too.
Paljon enemmän sillä veiselulta, niin se niin 240.
Friday is coming to an end, painting wise at least. Now there is 2 coats of epoxy paint on the keel and under the keel, and 1 layer in front of the keel, front side of the keel, I mean. Depending on the weather, let's see when we can paint the second layer in front of the keel. But let's see, can we splash Aventura after 7 days? Okay, another day at the boatyard. Sunday 8th of May, and the last day to paint some epoxy. Hull looks pretty good from outside. And the last layer of epoxy paint in front of the keel is coming on today. So there is 6 days for epoxy paint to cure before splash. Let's see again how this goes. Here is how the keel looks before second coat of paint. Harbor has melted pretty nicely, even though we can't get far. Suolahti, no go, so up there. At least our berth is free of us. Thank you for watching. In next episode we are splashing Aventura no matter how the fix turns out.